by First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper. Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
You know, it is such a strange time of the year. I mean, here when you get to the third week in July, you're headed toward the end of July, and, you know, training camp doesn't open until the middle of September, and it feels like that there's really not much going on. But at the same time, when it comes to the Blue Jackets, there is a lot going on this week. Now, is it something that is going to be remedied, fixed? What's going to happen with that something? Well, first of all, I've got to remind you what that something is. The something is Yegor Chinakhov, Blue Jackets forward, who is not happy with his situation. Things came out last week. A report came out last week that Chinakhov was looking for a trade. And actually, was it a report, or was it the fact that his agent just basically came out and said that things are not good in Columbus for Yegor? He is not happy with what is going on, and more specifically, he is not happy with the coach. So he feels that a trade would be something that he would be very open to, him playing somewhere else. He wants to stay in the NHL. He doesn't want to go back to Russia and play. He wants to stay in the NHL, but a trade would probably do him well, is basically what was said in a nutshell. Now, listen, let's talk about the season that Yegor Chinakhov had this year for the Blue Jackets, this past year for the Blue Jackets. Chinakhov started the year in fine form, and he was playing on the top line, and he was being productive. As a matter of fact, he was getting more ice time per game than he had ever gotten since he got drafted and brought into this organization. His points were up. Everything was great for Yegor Chinakhov. And then, all of a sudden, it came to an end. And why did it come to an end? Because he had an injury. He had an injury to his back that kept him out of the lineup. So the first month or so, whatever it was into November before he got hurt. He was playing so well, and things looked so promising, and it was working well for the Blue Jackets, and everybody was happy about it, okay? And then he got hurt. And as a side note, let me remind you that the biggest problem with Chinakhov since joining the Blue Jackets and since coming to the National Hockey League has been injury. Now, you know, it's hard to say that you really can't put a finger on a guy and say, well, you know what, it's your fault. Well, it's not your fault. I mean, you get injured. These things happen. They happen to all athletes throughout their careers, but it seems like it happens to some players more than it happens to other players. Now, sometimes that's just freakishly bad luck. Sometimes it's training techniques that they use. It could be other things too. And whatever the situation is here, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter for the purpose of this conversation to me, okay? But he got injured. He is oft injured. As a matter of fact, he's played 175 games in the National Hockey League. He has missed 109 games due to injury. I'm sorry, that is not a good ratio to have, okay? Whatever the reason is, it's not a good ratio to have. But I digress. So he gets hurt, and he misses 40 games for the Blue Jackets. Now, he comes back near the end of the season, and all of a sudden, he can't find a spot in the lineup. His old spot on the top line, well, he can forget about that. No chance, because long since before, that line was solidified, Sean Monahan with Kirill Marchenko and Dmitry Voronkov. Okay? So that's not happening. Unless I shouldn't say that's not happening. It could have happened. I think it could have happened because Voronkov really cooled off. But what didn't happen was Chinakhov coming back into the lineup and heating up. Okay? So without him heating up, that's the way I'll put it. Without him heating up, that was not going to happen. And that is just a fact of life. He wasn't going to get back to where he was on that line. No way, no how. Sorry. That's just the way it is. So anyway, so now he's he's bouncing around and they're getting him into games and he's not performing well, so they take him out. And going down the stretch, the Blue Jackets are trying to make the playoffs, and they need guys that are playing well. And I'm sorry, Chinakhov just wasn't one of those guys at that point in time. There were other players that were playing better than he was at that point in time, and that's why he was scratched. That's why he was not in the lineup, and that's why now he is unhappy. Okay, so I get that. I get it, but you also have to understand from the team standpoint, if you're a member of this team that is so close-knit as this one is, you have to say, well, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. I want to play. Now, there are other issues now that are coming out on a bigger, a bigger picture disgruntlement. Does that make sense? Is that? Can I say that like that? Does that make sense? Is that the way it's supposed to be worded in English? I don't know. It's the middle of July, and so I'm not really worried if I said it right or not. But you understand what I mean, I hope. Okay, some other things have come out. His agent talking about the fact that there was disagreement between the Blue Jackets and the Chinakhov camp about how to treat the injury that he had. And the claim is that he went to doctors here in North America, and they couldn't figure out how to fix his problem. And he wanted to have a procedure that was not approved in North America, and the Blue Jackets didn't want him to do it. This is what they're saying, okay? They don't want him to do it. So what ends up happening is that he eventually goes to Russia, and he has this treatment. And according to his agent, in 1 hour, the doctors fixed everything. Okay, listen. This could be. This could be, all right? But I'm going to tell you personally, I have a really hard time believing that with the great medical minds in the United States and in Canada and all of North America, that nobody could figure this out. He had to go back to Russia for some treatment that's not even approved in North America. Okay. All right. Okay, fine. I'll take your word for it. I find it hard to believe, but I'll take your word for it. Okay, so that's coming up. But the real big beef is that according to Yegor Chinakhov, there is not communication with Dean Evason. That Evason doesn't talk to him, doesn't tell him why he's not in the lineup, that things come through the assistant coaches and not through the head coach. And so that's the big reason. And the agent is saying, well, because look, the guy's under contract. He's under contract through next year. He's a restricted free agent after that. So, he's going to come to camp. If they don't trade him, he's going to come to camp. He really doesn't have much of a choice, right? So that they're saying that. The agent said he'll come to camp. But it would be better if we could just move him along somewhere else because of this problem with the coach. Now, so there's the whole scenario, right? There it is, all laid out for you. Now, Don Waddell, the Blue Jackets general manager, president of hockey operations, has said, yeah, I'll try to trade him, but I'm not just giving him away. I'm not going to make a deal that's not going to benefit the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's got to be a good deal for us. It's got to make us better, or forget about it. He's going to have to play out his contract and beyond. And that's absolutely the way that it should be approached by the organization. Okay? So here we are. You've got a player that's unhappy, says that he can't play for this coach. There's no communication with this coach. The coach, not quoted, but through a spokesperson, has said the lines of communication have always been open. They will continue to be open. All right? So that's where all this stands as of right now today. Here's my opinion and my take on this thing, okay? And I'll just give it to you flat out. I'm not going to lie to you about how I feel about it. Here's the deal. Look, I like Yegor Chinakhov a lot. I think this guy has great talent. You're not going to find many players that can take a wrist shot with the velocity that he can. I think he's got great tools, great upside, And I think he is a valuable asset to your team. I do. I really do. There's no doubt about that. Here's where my problem is with this. If you recall, 2 years ago, he was coming back from injury, was on the fourth line. Pascal Vincent was the head coach. He wasn't happy. He didn't like the way he was being treated by the coach. It wasn't fair what the coach was doing. Fast forward to this past year, new coach, same problems. Don't like what the coach is doing. Coach is not communicating with me. Listen, to me, once it becomes more than one coach, you need to look in the mirror a little bit, okay? Maybe it's not the coach, or maybe not all of it is the coach. Maybe some of it's a coach, okay. But maybe it's not all the coach, all right? There's a pattern. There's a pattern forming here where it doesn't seem like it matters who the coach is. If it's not working the way that you want it to, then there's a problem. All right? So, that's how I think about those situations. I think he's a very talented player, but I think in some ways he's a little bit misguided here in this situation. Now, from the Blue Jackets standpoint, Don Waddell went into the offseason talking about trying to make some big moves, and one of the moves that he wanted to make was acquiring a top six winger. And we have discussed in the last couple of weeks on this show and others how things went down via the draft and free agency, and the big moves weren't made. And that's not just with the Blue Jackets, that's with a lot of teams. They weren't able to do a lot of things. So they didn't get that top six winger that they wanted. But lo and behold, let's think this out. Let's be rational. Let's everybody just take their egos and their frustrations and everybody set all those things aside. And let's just do a complete reset and think about this. Coming to training camp, if Yegor Chinakhov comes to training camp, a fully healthy guy, which his agent says that he is, and that he's skating with other NHLers and he's getting ready and he can't wait for the season. Just doesn't want it to be here, but he can't wait for the season to start. Okay, so he's healthy. He comes to camp healthy. The Blue Jackets are happy to have him in the camp, which they will be regardless. Doesn't matter what's going on behind the scenes. He's under contract with you. You know the talent he has. You're happy to have him there. So let's just say that throughout the training camp, he shows that he is the guy that he was going into the start of last year. Well, if that's the case, then everybody's problem could be solved in the blink of an eye, because the Blue Jackets could already have their top six winger right there in camp under their noses. And for Chinakhov, the top six forward spot that he so covets could very easily be his. Now, we've talked about this before. You know, to me, when I look at the top line, what it was for most of last year, with Monahan playing alongside of Marchenko and Voronkov, yeah, it worked, and it worked a lot earlier in the season than it did later when Voronkov fell off. But to me, Dmitry Voronkov is not a top-line winger. I think if you're on a good team that it's going to have a real chance to win the Stanley Cup, he's probably playing on the third line. He's using his size, using his physicality, scoring goals. He's got great hands. We hear that all the time, and we saw the numbers this year. Okay, I get it. But top line guy? No, I don't think he doesn't have to be there. I think that he got hot and they rode that. They rode the hot hand for a long time. And, it worked for a while, and then it didn't work so well near the end. He's got to be more consistent. If he was more consistent and if he played to his size every single night, and I say every single night, look, it's 82 games. It's hard to do. Play with that physicality all the time. But, okay, if you do it 70 times, then you're going to be a great player. You're going to make big bucks. So there are still things he needs to work out in his game. But really, Chinakhov could be on that line. Or he could be on a line with Fantilli and Kent Johnson. It is there for him, is my point. It is there. Don't worry about the coach. Come in healthy, play your tail off, and grab the position. Don't wait for somebody to hand you something. Go get it. Grab it. It is there. The solution to your problem, Yegor, is there. The solution to the Blue Jackets' problem is there. can there be a reconciliation of the marriage to get these two sides back together and everybody gets exactly what they want? I think it's quite possible. As a matter of fact, no, I don't think it's quite possible. I think it's just stupid if it doesn't happen because it's right there for everybody. It is a win-win, as the saying goes. So we'll see what happens between now and training camp. If Don Waddell gets an offer that he feels makes the club better, then this will be something we won't even talk about at camp. And if he doesn't, the guy's going to come to camp. And if I was in his position and I was coming to camp under these circumstances, I would have a conversation with my coach, and I would take the stick it right up his where the sun don't shine. I'm going to show you how good I am. That's what I would do. And that's what I would advise him to do if I were an advisor to him. Very simple. Okay? But it's all there for everybody. They just got to make it work. They just have to make it work. And when I say they, really it's Chinakhov and his agent and Chinakhov and Dean Evison. And listen, a coach shouldn't have to come to you all of the time. Coaches will say, my door is always open. And there are some players that will go in and take advantage of that, and there are others that don't like to go in there. But you know what? At some point in time, you got to stick up for yourself. If he's not coming to you, and if it's that bothersome to you, instead of, just going around and complaining about it and asking to be traded, maybe just go through the door. Maybe pick up the phone. Maybe have a conversation. I promise you it will not be the end of the world. Okay? Just talk. How much in all of our lives, how much do we miss out on and how much do we screw things up by not communicating with one another? For assuming this person knows how I feel and what I'm thinking, and that person feeling that I know how they're feeling and what they're thinking. Right? It happens all the time. So let's just put it all together and make it work. Little kumbaya in training camp is what I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping for this guy to be healthy, and I'm hoping for him to be strong, and I'm hoping for him to win a spot, not in the top 6, but in the top 3, to be on the top line, because he's that good, and it can happen. But he has to make it happen. So that's what I think about that. All right, coming up on this show, we're going to talk about one of your favorite topics of all time. I know it is. Goalies. Yeah, goalies. We're going to talk about that next as the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. If that's our answer ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the off-season. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue we actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
Call
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Irish Adventure awaits at the Dublin Irish Festival August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food and fun. Enjoy unique Irish experiences as you explore one of the top festivals in the US. Drawing over 90,000 guests to Dublin, Ohio each year. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org.
Tee to Green with Skip Mosick.
Coming up Saturday, we'll talk some high school golf with a couple of area coaches as their season gets underway next week, plus Tim Street of the OHSAA.
Tee to Green with Skip Mosick, Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my 2 best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
You hear that crunch? It's not just any crunch. It's cheesy to the edge crust that only comes from a Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed dough topped with premium mozzarella, the freshest ingredients, and ladled with Mama Jet's secret sauce. Then baked to perfection in steel pans born on Motor City lines. I bet you're real hungry now. Go ahead. Visit jetspizza.com for daily hot deals. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Blue skies, light winds, low humidity, but hot on this Wednesday. Temperatures around 90. Overnight will keep the warm weather going, but also keep it dry, right around 70 when you wake up Thursday morning. And during the day, back in the mid-90s with the heat index around 100. 10 weather impact alert with a heat advisory for the second half of your Thursday. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
As I promised, now we're going to talk about goalies, and we're expecting Elvis Merzlikins and Jet Greaves to battle it out for the starting position in training camp this year. But let's look to the future. You've got those two guys right now, but as we look down the road, who is coming into the picture? Well, we know that in the draft this year, Pyotr Andrianov was drafted 20th overall, but we also know he's got a 5-year contract in Russia. But last year, go back to the second round of the draft. It was late second round. The Blue Jackets had already made their second-round pick, and all of a sudden they made a trade so that they could get back into the second round because there was a goalie that they really liked. His name, Evan Gardner. And Evan Gardner, last year, after his junior season ended, actually went to Cleveland and got his first taste of American Hockey League action. The organization likes this guy, and I think you'll like him too. I had a chance to catch up with him just a couple of weeks ago at development camp. Well, Evan, welcome back to Columbus, your second development camp now. You got drafted in the second round last year in Vegas, and now as you come in this time, how much different is it for you having just that little bit of experience of having been here last year?
Yeah, I think it changes a lot. You know, you kind of know your way around this place just that much better, and you know, you can help the guys that were just drafted kind of find their way around this place. So you're definitely a lot more confident coming around for your second camp.
Did they come and search you out? These guys that are looking to have some questions answered as to where do I need to go, what's happening here, what can I look forward to?
No, I mean, you can usually find them yourselves when they're
the guys that are standing in the hallway outside the room,
kind of looking around when they look lost. So.
Which way's the ice?
Yeah,
it's this way. Hey, tell me about the season that you had last year. Of course, after getting drafted and then going back to Saskatoon, and what was that whole season like for you last year?
Yeah, it was great. You know, coming into the season, we had a ton of doubters. Obviously, we went for a big run in my draft year, and you know, heading back into last year, we were kind of told from the outside that, you know, we were going to be a bottom team, right? So last year we had a tremendous start. You know, we started off in first place for the first little bit, and then, you know, we kind of came back down to reality and knew we needed to move some pieces, some older guys, and kind of recoup our assets and stuff like that. But the guys were tremendous. We had a tremendous group last year, and a ton of young talent that was awesome to see. So it makes me really excited for this upcoming year for sure.
Yeah, you can never listen to what the pundits are going to say that you're going to be, right? The heck with them. It's all about the guys in the room, as you guys say.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't have the right guys in the room, you go get the right guys.
Yeah, totally.
Well, at the end of the year, you actually got a chance to go to Cleveland and get a little taste of pro hockey in the American Hockey League. What was that like for you, especially coming off a junior season? And, you know, it could be where your season's ending. In your case, hey, we want you to come to Cleveland. What was that whole experience like for you?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, coming into it, I was really excited to kind of get to watch a guy like Jet play. For the first time, I had never really gotten to watch him. So I was really looking forward to that and getting to work with Brad Thiessen. So as we kind of went along, you know, a few things came up. Jet had to come up here, and Sawzy ended up having a kid. So I was kind of thrown into the spot with Pavel Kayan, and I ended up getting into a game, the very last game, and it was a ton of fun. You know, I was a little nervous heading into it, just being a big step, but it was just pure excitement once I got onto that ice. And after that, just getting to watch Jet in that little playoff run we had was awesome. Just seeing how he kind of was as a human and how he was as a pro on the ice. It was there was a lot to take away from that, so I learned a lot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the nerves playing in that game. And when you talk about the whole situation, the way it worked out, where you come in, maybe you don't know if you're even going to play in a game, and then all of a sudden you can see it lining up. So how was that? Did the nerves, was it a day? Was it a couple of days leading up to it? What was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, when I got there, Thies had kind of mentioned to me that he was really hoping to get me into a game, which was kind of cool and nerve-wracking to hear at the same time. But, you know, those things happened, and then we ended up clinching the second last game. So it was it was just kind of inevitable at that point. And they had let me know that I was going to be starting that last game. So the bus ride to Wilkes-Barre, I was definitely a little nervous texting my parents and stuff. But that next day, you know, morning skate and all that, I felt great and just very confident in what I was going to do.
Bus ride to Wilkes-Barre. I've taken that one many, many times, by the way. And they threw you right in there against a pretty good Penguins team.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, You know, they were making plays out there. It was a ton of fun. There were tons of fans there, just being their last home game of the season, and yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Let me ask you, what did you see as the biggest difference from junior to that one brief experience in the American Hockey League?
Yeah, I think just how plays developed. You know, it was, you know, guys can zip the puck out there. Not just talking about their shots, but just how they pass it, how firm it is, you know, tape to tape, all that kind of stuff, how creative they are. There's a ton of creativity out there that you're not always used to seeing at the junior level. But yeah, I mean, the guys out there, they just make plays. I mean, the third goal on me, I mean, once it went in, I was kind of like, wow, like what a play. I mean, the guy was behind the net, went back the other way while he was going one way, and just right on the tape to a guy for a one-timer, and I was just kind of like, whoa, like that was something. So just kind of stuff like that. So yeah, that was my takeaway.
And it gives you a real glimpse of where you've got to get to as a player, right? When you see it, even just for one game.
Yeah. I mean, even, you know, looking at the film after and stuff, you can just kind of see like the stuff that I do have to work on and the stuff that I've implemented into my game that's translating to that level, and you can kind of see it right now. So yeah, it was awesome to be in that situation to get a game.
Talking with goaltender Evan Gardner, and have you come off that experience, now you come into this development camp, and as you're getting ready for this next season, through all of that experience, what do you have a different outlook on it, or in any way, or are there certain things that you're saying to yourself now, okay, I've got to get ready for this, and I've got to get better at this, and certain building blocks that you're working toward for a training camp?
I mean, just to simply put it for myself, is just kind of the skating stuff that they've been teaching me here. You know, there were a few things that I learned at the last dev camp that kind of had my mind in the blender, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because I just didn't know. It was pretty mind-boggling to me, the stuff that they were teaching, and slowly throughout the year, I mean, I got more and more used to it and stuff like that, and coming into this dev camp, I just feel even more confident than last season. So it's just, I feel like I just keep building and building and building, and I've just been getting better with what they've been throwing at me. So, I mean, I have the utmost confidence in myself just with how I've learned what they've been teaching us. So, I mean, I kind of forgot what you asked, but...
Building blocks, working toward things. Yeah. You answered it perfectly. And one thing, as you say that, I want to ask you this. When you talked about you were kind of in a blender and working on these things, and you go back and you're trying to do it during your season. Look, human nature is when you struggle with things, first thing you want to do is quit. You want to go back to what's comfortable for you, right? Is that a tough thing to get through when you're trying to put those things into play, which you know you've got to do if you want to become a better player? You know what they're telling you is right, but sometimes your brain's saying, can we just do what we're used to doing?
Yeah, there were definitely points throughout the season where Thies and my goalie coach would be breaking down the video for me, and I was like, I don't know, like it just doesn't feel right, this and that, just kind of coming up with excuses almost because it just didn't feel right. And as I got more and more comfortable, and then, you know, eventually getting it into some game action, because that usually takes a bit, just getting used to something through practice, and then finally getting some use out of it during a game. You can see the stuff that they're teaching works and how efficient and effective it is. So there were definitely some points throughout the season where I was like, I don't know, I really don't know if I could add this into my game, but since I've added all the stuff they've taught me, it's worked out great.
You talked a couple of times about watching Jet play and just the example of how he prepares himself and plays the games. What about the conversations? How many conversations did you have with him and the other goalies there, just to, you know, pick their brains and try to figure out maybe some other things from them that could help you get better? Yeah,
I mean, I talked to him daily. He would always come to me, ask me, you know, how I was doing, stuff like that, ask stuff about me. He was very approachable and just a great person. I didn't get to spend a ton of time on the ice with him, unfortunately, like I had hoped, but
I'm glad you didn't, because he was doing a heck of a job here while you were there.
Yeah. So I didn't really pick his brain too much on that, but I mean, just seeing how he was as a person off the ice and just seeing his habits and how he prepared himself and stuff like that, it kind of showed me a lot just to see, you know, when you're doing the right stuff, you know, it can take you a long way. So just kind of, watching and learning was the biggest thing I took away.
Well, it sounds like you've already done some learning in a very short period of time, in a year of being in this organization, Evan. So congratulations for that. Hope you have another fantastic year this year, and who knows what opportunities lie ahead for you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
That's Blue Jackets goaltending prospect Evan Gardner here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Coming up, I'm going to talk to another goalie prospect. Melvin Stroll joins the show as we continue on 97.1 The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? Well, you should. Window Nation has been replacing windows in the Columbus region for over 15 years. Not only does Window Nation know what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you, they're also local to the area. And right now, you can take advantage of Window Nation's biggest sale of the year. Remember this number, 50% off. All window styles, all from Window Nation. 50% off plus zero interest for 5 whole years. Yeah, I said that. 5 whole years, 2030. No interest on the windows from Window Nation. Plus, they'll install your new windows in 1 day or less. Get the windows you want for 50% off plus no interest until 2030. What are you waiting for? Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today to get your free quote on replacement windows. Again, I can't stress this enough. You do not want to miss out on this deal. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. And tell them T-Bone sent you.
Hey, is that knee, shoulder, hip, that pain in any of your joints not getting better? You're stuck in this cycle where you keep going back to the doctor. They recommend steroid shots. Maybe they recommend surgery, rehab, and all of those things are not working for you. Before you go down the road of the surgery, you'll want to listen to this. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I want to tell you something that helped me a ton, and it'll help a lot of other people get their lives back as well. And this is no more meds and not going under the knife. I'm talking about my friends at QC Kinetics, Real Regenerative Medicine. They help your body heal itself. After years of playing professional football, I was beat up. My dad was beat up. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to have any more surgery. So I went to my friends at QC Kinetics, and they took a look at it, and they said, hey, we can help you with your knee. It's not going to be an overnight fix, but they've got protocols and procedures to help get you well without going under the knife. So here's what you do. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices all over Columbus.
We here at The Fan want to make your mornings as enjoyable as possible. That's why we bring you T-Bone and Tyvus, a delightful blend of sports conversation and laughter. A show so good you'll forget all about your dead-end job and underachieving children. Maybe you saved a lot of money to send them to private school, and then your daughter shacks up with some dude named Fuzz. And you can't tell if your wife's angry or not because she's had so many fillers shot in her face that it can't move anymore. Anyway, T-Bone and Tyvus, it's good.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents the Pride of the Buckeyes, the Ohio State University Marching Band. Don your scarlet and gray and join the Columbus Symphony Orchestra for a night of fight songs, battle cries, fireworks, and more. July 25th and 26th at the Columbus Commons. Visit picnicwiththepops.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the off-season. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue we actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McGilligan. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. We're going to keep talking goalies. Melvin Stroll was selected by the Blue Jackets in the 5th round of the 2023 NHL draft. He's a Swedish kid, and this year he left Sweden and came to Youngstown to play for the Phantoms in the USHL. And you know what he was? He was one of the best goaltenders in the league at the end of the year, and he's getting ready to play Big Ten hockey at Michigan State. I had a chance to catch up with him at development camp just a couple of weeks ago. Well, Melvin, first of all, welcome back to development camp. You're kind of a veteran of this camp now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's my 3rd year, so I know the routines here and know the staff. So it's fun with new faces every year. So, yeah, it's always fun.
Any guys come to you and look for a little bit of help or experience as to what to expect or even where to go in the building or at the hotel or anything like that?
I mean, we finally drafted 2 Swedish guys, so I kind of helped them out a little bit. But I feel like we're plenty of guys who has done this camp a couple of times now, so we all help each other out.
Yeah, there's almost enough guys now where by position, like, you know, the goalies can take care of the goalies, the D-men can take care of the D-men, right? There's enough experience around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned Sweden, of course, where you're from. But this past year, you actually played in the USHL, and you played in Youngstown.
Oh, yeah.
Not that far from here. First of all, what was behind your decision to come over and play in the U.S. last year?
It was kind of the season. After I got drafted, I started to think about what I wanted to do next season. So I had 1 year left on my contract with Modo, and I started to talk a lot with Thies, Brad Thiessen here, and I talked to Rick and a couple of guys too about maybe coming over here to the U.S. and play on a small rink and get to a place where I can play a lot of games and get like good routine and discipline in. And we all felt like going to the USHL and taking a college route would be the best way for me to develop best way.
Well, if I look at the numbers, it looks like the plan's worked out so far because you had a great year in Youngstown. You were finalist for the goalie of the year. I mean, the numbers don't lie, right? Did you feel it was a great year for you?
Yeah. I'm happy with my year. I'm happy that I took the step and came over here and tried to play on a small rink. And yeah, obviously it's a lot to adjust to, not even only on the ice. It's off the ice too. It's pretty different from Sweden, but yeah, I enjoyed it so much.
How different is Youngstown from your home in Sweden?
Yeah, it's pretty different. I mean, where I come from, I can walk everywhere. And now we had to take the car like 20, 25 minutes to the arena and 35 to the training rink. So, yeah, it was a big difference, but it was fun.
Yeah, Sweden's about walking and riding bikes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, not so much car.
No.
Yeah, you're not doing that in Youngstown. You're riding a bike forever to get to where you need to go. Well, you talked about the college route, and you made your decision where you're going to go to college. And what was that, in October that you made that decision?
I think so.
Yeah, early in the year. You're going to go to Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that decision. You know, you had your pick. I'm sure different places you could go. Why did you settle on being a Spartan?
I went to a visit there, and I saw a game and got to meet a couple other players there and the whole staff, and I just felt like the whole the atmosphere there were something else, and I feel like it's a place where I would develop and get better, and where everybody pushes each other to get better. And obviously I love the coaches, and I felt like the players were nice and humble. Yeah.
And you're going to go into a program that it feels like it has a lot to prove after winning the Big Ten and then, suffering an early exit out of the NCAA tournament last year. Trey Augustine is the other goaltender that you're going to be there with. He's a draft pick of the Detroit Red Wings. How much are you looking forward to a guy like that who's coming back and has some experience? We're talking about how in camp here, people are coming to you for experience. How much are you looking forward to being able to go to another goalie that has that experience that you're hoping to get, and being able just to, watch how he prepares and ask questions?
I feel like that's a great thing. Obviously, I could go somewhere where I probably would play more in my first year, but I don't see it as a bad thing coming to a place where a player like Trey is there and has done it 2 years already and has some routine, has played World Juniors and World Championship and everything like that. So I think I'm going to have a great time and obviously develop a lot on the ice.
It's funny you say about you could go somewhere and play more, but there is something about being with winning programs. And it's one, as we just said, has been one, and they have such huge high expectations this year. And really, whether you're on the ice in games or not, you can just learn a lot by being in that kind of an environment, can't you?
Oh, yeah. Just see how all the players and everybody just works hard and really want to win and compete. Just makes so much.
How happy were you to find out that Caden Lindstrom was going to come to Michigan State and play?
Yeah, that's always great. He's a great guy and a great player, so couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, have you guys talked about that at all during this camp?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I haven't been there for too long, so not too much.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You were a little bit late getting in here with travel concerns, so you haven't had a lot of time to talk about that. But that'd be a great experience. Are you kind of besides the fact that he's a great player, he's a Columbus Blue Jacket just like you are, and you're going to have a guy, at least one guy right away that you know and you can relate to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously that's big, and I believe, we're also going to have another Swedish guy, so that's also in comfort. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to just get into the group when you have a few people that you have something in common with.
What are you going to study?
I don't really know yet. I think finance, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, that's always good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that's important just in life, right?
Yeah.
So you could be an undecided. It doesn't matter. I know what you're going for. You're going for a lot of hockey experience, and something else will come of it. Talking to Melvin Strahl, goaltender. He's going to Michigan State. He was a former pick of the Blue Jackets here. This development camp, as you go along, as you said, it's your third one here. Are there specific things that you're working on in your game, or are you just coming in and you want to go through the drills, do the best things you can, and just show the improvements that you've made throughout the years?
Yeah, obviously, we're always working on things on the ice, and I've had Brad coming out to Youngstown a couple of times and practice with me last year. So I have a few things we work on, and I've only been on the ice one time so far, but I feel like the drills and having both Nicholas and Brad to ball some ideas with is awesome. Like, the resources you have here is out of this world. It's just overwhelming.
I wanted to ask you about your relationship with Nick Backstrom. Obviously a great goaltender in his time, and now the goaltending coach here with the Blue Jackets. You mentioned Brad Thiessen, who's in Cleveland, and the relationship there. But what about your relationship with Nick and how he's helped you?
Yeah, we had more contact, like a bit more last year and before I got drafted, because before I got drafted, he was the scout, the European goalie scout for the Blue Jackets. So he saw a couple of games where I played, and I texted him a few times like what he thought I would have to develop and work on. And so we texted a bit back and forth before the draft, and then the draft was coming up, and we had texted a bit, and he said he was going to call me the week of the draft, and I never got the call. But it ended up well anyway, so no,
You eventually got a call.
Oh, yeah. after the pick, yeah. But yeah, he's also someone I can talk Swedish too, so that's also a comfort.
Who, when you were younger and you were growing up and you're deciding to be a goalie, who are some of the players that you looked up to and you want to kind of model your game after?
Yeah, when I was really young, I had my dad as my role model, and getting to see a lot of highlights on YouTube and stuff. I looked a lot on Henrik Lundqvist, that's a common one, and Markstrom. Those were probably the two big ones. And also, I saw a few games where Linus Ullmark played in Modo before he came overseas. So those were probably the guys I try to model my game after.
Were you always destined to be a goalie?
No, I played player for a few years, and then I went a bit back and forth. But eventually I felt like goalie was my thing. And at the time, my brother was also a goalie, and my dad used to play goalie, so kind of came naturally.
Your brother still playing goalie?
No, he's a demon.
He got smart? No goalie's going to say he got smart if you bailed on being a goalie, right? Well, that's awesome. I think it's great. And obviously, it was the right choice. It's working out very well for you. And I hope you have a great time at Michigan State. And I hope you guys are able to really do some very good things there. So great to see you here at this camp. Enjoy the rest of it. And best of luck to you as you move on to the fall.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
That is Blue Jackets goaltending prospect Melvin Strahl. I'll be back with a quick wrap-up of this week's Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Choose from payments as low as $99 a month or 12 months with no payments and no interest, plus a free in-home window and energy assessment. Restrictions apply. Give them a call. 614-502-5220.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Swimming in debt? Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. With rates as low as 8.99% APR, now is the perfect time to consolidate your debt. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate for more details.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Getting started in hockey has never been easier. The Blue Jackets Learn to Play program, presented by Performance Columbus in association with Moo Express Car Wash and Kroger, is an introductory ice hockey program for boys and girls ages 4 to 10. Classes are held year-round at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks. Registration includes age-appropriate instruction and head-to-toe equipment, yours to keep. Hockey starts here at bluejackets.com/learn-to-play.
Create career momentum with us at Worthington Steel. Whether you're a recent grad or a seasoned veteran looking to level up, we'll empower your journey. Join a team that puts people first with career development programs, competitive pay, and excellent benefits, including lower health insurance premiums than comparable companies. Let's drive steel forward together. Apply today at worthingtonsteel.com/careers. That's worthingtonsteel.com/careers.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Well, it figures I spent so much time in a Chinikoff rant and talking to two goalie prospects that we have run out of time for this week's edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. I heard Pierre McGuire on an interview yesterday saying that he feels in the next week or so, things are going to heat up in the NHL. That normally things are really quiet at this time of year, but there are so many teams that are under pressure to make something happen and to really have a good season this year that he feels there's going to be more activity coming up in the next couple of weeks. Boy, I hope so. I hope so, because I love talking on the show when there's activity. But again, thanks to Evan Gardner and Melvin Stroll for being on with me tonight. Thanks to you for being there as always. That'll wrap up this edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott. Thanks for listening to 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot. And not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain. And at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it